All rise. Oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes. The meeting of the Washington County Board of Commissioners now in session. Pursuant to adjournment, the Honorable Chairman Greg Madley is presiding. Come to order and remain standing.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Our first order of business this evening will be our prayer led by Commissioner Malone, followed by the pledge led by Commissioner Wexler.
If you will join me in prayer. Father in heaven, we pause to come to you with thanks. Thanks for the many blessings of life, for our health, our ability to be out and about and service to you and to our community, most of all for salvation. We thank you for this time together. We meet to discuss matters involving Washington County, its citizens. We just pray that you would help us to make wise decisions that would be honoring and pleasing to you and to the citizens of Washington County, recognizing that sometimes our decisions are perhaps unpopular or even misunderstood. It seems sometimes when you listen to the news or look at social media that we are so divided. And I think the news and the social media is often what does that to us. Help us to be respectful of one another and willing to listen to perhaps some opposing view. Again, just help us tonight as we weigh matters just to make wise decisions. These things for us to remember. Amen.
Amen.
Let us honor America. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, if you will, please switch us to the roll call screen. If you will please indicate your presence. 15 present, 0 absent. Our next order of business this evening is to approve the agenda. I need to amend the agenda to add a proclamation for Captain Foster under special recognitions and proclamations. It would be item 9B.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Matherly, seconded by Commissioner Jones to approve the agenda as amended. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Our next order of business this evening is to elect a chair. At this time, I will open the floor to nominations for a chair. Commissioner Wheeler?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to nominate Greg Madden as chair. Second.
Commissioner Matherly's been nominated. Any other nominations? We have a second by Commissioner Tomita. All in favor? Signify by saying aye. All opposed? Commissioner Matherly, I will turn the meeting over to you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Get your stuff out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here.
You guys are really good seat.
Get out of here.
Thank you, Mayor. Congratulations.
Jeff, I make a motion.
Yes, I never get to do that.
There's one.
All right, our next item of business is to elect the vice chairman. I'll open the floor for nominations for vice chairman. Commissioner Malone. Or, I'm sorry, Commissioner Fitzgerald.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I'll make a motion. Nominate, Commissioner Wheeler.
Commissioner Wheeler.
I will second Commissioner Fitzgerald's motion.
All right. Any further nominations? All right, seeing none, do we have a motion, for elections to, are we just gonna vote? Let's just vote. We'll go ahead and close the nominations. All in favor of Commissioner Wheeler being elected as our vice chairman, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not opposed. I want to say.
Yes, yes, Commissioner, I'm sorry, Commissioner Jones, I didn't say
Ask
that.
for no, I didn't want our, what I see as a collective, appreciation for you to be, to pass as though we're taking it for granted. Because we do really appreciate both of you. And we feel that you work well together and lead us well together. And, this is you're going into your 8th year. And we know it's a lot of work, and thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner
I
Jones.
appreciate you.
The good thing about me and Commissioner Wheeler, I'll just tell you before we do work well together. Some days we don't agree on everything, and we shouldn't. And I really appreciate him and all that he's done for me and his commission. So thank you, Commissioner Wheeler. And I'll say this, any opposed? Seeing none, congratulations, Commissioner Wheeler. You're our next new vice chairman again. Would you like to say a few words, Commissioner Wheeler?
Just a very quick thank you, and it is a pleasure to work with you, and you're right, we don't always agree, but we certainly respect each other every day, and I appreciate that.
And Jim has bailed me out several times when I couldn't get here because of something, and it's always good to know you have somebody to catch you when you fall. And I fell a couple of months ago, didn't I, Jim? Yes, that's right. All right. Move right along. I know we have a lot of business to do this evening. We'll move right on to public comment. Public comment is a time that each individual should be given 3 minutes to address the board regarding agenda items. Comments shall be limited to items that's on the meeting's agenda. We do have one gentleman that signed up to speak. And I really appreciate him, and I've worked closely with him over the last several months. Bob Wilson, if you'll come forward to the podium. We're glad to see you here tonight, Bob.
It's very kind of you to say that after the last meeting.
Hey, we
appreciate that.
we get through it now.
Bob Wilson, 309 Shadowwood Drive, Johnson City. I'm here to speak in favor of resolution number 250913, which is to amend the Washington County, Johnson City bylaws. The last time we met, there was one of our biggest issues was the second city and county appointment. Since then, the bylaws have been amended to reflect that appointment can be a county commissioner or a county resident. So that was changed based on the discussion and the feedback that we received. So I'm just speaking in favor of that. If you have any questions when you get into it, I'll be here and I'll be happy to answer those. I'd also like to thank the HCW committee, for their input and guidance on this. It was very helpful. So thank you very much.
We sure do appreciate all your hard work on this, we really do. And I know the Animal Control Board as well, and we thank you all so much.
Thank you.
All right, that'll conclude our public comment for this evening, and we will move on into public hearing for rezoning. We have several, rezonings this evening. And our first one is, resolution, 250901. It's a, resolution rezoning the tax map in the first civil district presently owned by Cecil and Christy Callahan and Taylor Cochran. Is there anyone here to speak in opposition to this request? Is there anyone here to speak in favor? Sir, if you'll come forward to the podium and give your name and address for the clerk.
How's everybody doing tonight? My name's Taylor Cochran. It's 422 Roaring Creek Road, Jackson, Tennessee. I lost my shop and equipment and some vehicles here in Hurricane Helene. We had a custom furniture company. I'm multi-generational in woodcraft, and we're just attempting to relocate the business and rebuild. This property is closer to my home, and it did join the farm of my business partner, David Callahan, although it was surveyed separately previous to this. We have since both been placed, my name on the property along with his, to do this venture there at that property. It is close to another planned manufacturing district zoning, which was previously a paint shop for Superior Metals, I believe, and now is a solar business. As far as in favor of this, it means that I can continue my business and my family's legacy, and hopefully continue to build furniture and do what I love to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. Our next item is resolution 250902. It's a rezoning of the tax map, the fifth civil district presently owned by Matthew and Kayla Tittle. Is there anyone here to speak in opposition to this request? Seeing no one, is there anyone here to speak in favor of? You'll come forward, sir, and give your name and address to the clerk, the podium.
Matt Tittle, 850 Hell's Chapel Road. Just looking to get it rezoned so I can subdivide the property and build a single family home on the front part of the property.
All right. Thank you very much, Matt. I appreciate it. Seeing no further, we'll move on to the next resolution, 250903. This is a rezoning of the tax map in the 14th civil district presently owned by Cody and Erica Patterson, Ralph C. Fulkerson Jr., and Betty Karen Fulkerson. Is there anyone here to speak in opposition to this request? Seeing none, is there anyone here to speak in favor of? Yes, sir. If you'll come forward to the podium, please. Give your name and address to the clerk.
Cody Patterson, 121 Meadowlark Drive. I'm just looking to rezone so I can build a house for myself, one house, and can't currently do that. Zone R1. That's why I was going to A1.
All right. Thank you, Cody. Our next item is a text amendment, resolution 250904. Is amending the Washington County zoning resolution regarding sign regulations. Is there anyone here to speak in opposition to this request? Seeing none, is there anyone here to speak in favor of? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and go back into regular session. This time we'll call Ms. Charles to the podium. She's our zoning and planning director. Looks like you've been doing a lot of work, ain't you? You know? We appreciate all the work you do, and your staff.
Thank you, sir. You have a really good office. Would you like me to present all together or one at a time?
Just go ahead and present them all together, and if we need to back up and there's questions on one, we will.
Right, thank you, sir. The first rezoning comes to you with a unanimous recommendation of approval from the Washington County Planning Commission. And that is for the rezoning of 136 Roaring Creek Road from A1 to PMD, and that's a planned manufacturing district. And as you heard from the petitioner, the rezoning request is to allow him to rebuild his custom woodworking business that was destroyed from the flooding from Helene. The next two items on the agenda come to you from Jonesboro's Planning Commission. The first one is the rezoning of 110 Polo Lane from A1 to R1. And that is to allow the subdivision of the property for a second single-family home. The properties along Hairtown Road, there are 6 properties total. The request there is to go from R1 to A1, and that is to allow a second residence to be constructed on one of the lots, and then the rest of the lots, the owners are interested in maintaining the agricultural use of their land, so that A1 district is appropriate for that. And both of those come to you with a unanimous recommendation of approval from Jonesboro. The last item is a text amendment request to the zoning resolution. And that would expand the allowances for electronic message board signs. So they're currently allowed in the county. And we looked at the language that the town of Jonesboro has in their code and modeled this amendment after theirs. So the codes will align very more closely. But it would allow electronic message board signs for government buildings and schools and churches. So no matter what their zone, for those uses, they would be permitted electronic message board signs. And because it is a text amendment to the code, it has to go before our planning commission, Jonesboro's planning commission, and the city of Johnson City's planning commission. So this text amendment comes to you with a unanimous recommendation of approval from all 3 of those planning commissions. Thank you, sir.
So any questions for Ms. Charles?
Yes.
This Commissioner Davenport?
Affect the regulations inside either Jonesboro city limits or Johnson City, although that they still have to sign off.
That is correct. Correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there any particular place, Angie, that you know that this would affect? That's been identified that in the county that it would have a negative impact on?
It would have a negative impact on?
Yes.
No, sir. No, we've had requests from churches who want electronic message board signs. And the way the code is currently written, it would not be permitted. This amendment would allow for them to have an electronic message board sign.
All right. Thank you. All right. Is there any further questions? If not, we'll go into our vote. All right. Seeing no further questions, we'll go ahead and consider resolution 250901. It's a resolution rezoning tax map in First Civil District presently owned by Cecil and Christy Callahan and Taylor Kaufman.
Motion to approve.
For approval by Commissioner Lone, second by Commissioner Wexler. Question or discussion?
Call for the question.
Question's been called. Madam Clerk, if you'll switch us to the voting screen, please. Go ahead and cast your vote and lock it in. Madam Clerk, if you'll announce the vote. 15 yes, and the resolution passes. Next resolution is resolution number 250902. Is a resolution rezoning the tax map in the 5th Civil District presently owned by Matthew and Kayla Tittle. Motion by Commissioner Edens to approve, second by Commissioner Tucker. Question or discussion?
Call for question.
Question's been called. Madam Clerk, if you'll switch us to the voting screen, go ahead and cast your vote and lock it in. Madam Clerk, if you'll announce the vote, 15 yes, and the resolution passes. The next resolution is resolution number 250903. Is a resolution rezoning tax map In the 14th Civil District, presently owned by Cody and Erica Patterson, Ralph C. Fulkerson Jr., and Betty Karen Fulkerson. We have a motion by Commissioner Davenport to approve the resolution, second by Commissioner Wheeler. Question or discussion? Question's been called. Madam Clerk, if you'll switch us to the voting screen, please. Go ahead and cast your vote and lock it in. Madam Clerk, if you'll announce the vote, 15 yes, the resolution passes. Next item is our text amendment, resolution number 250904, the resolution amending the Washington County zoning resolution sign regulations. We have a motion. Motion by Commissioner Wexler to approve, second by Commissioner Jones. Question or discussion? Question's been called for. Madam Clerk, if you'll switch us to the voting screen, please. Go ahead and cast your vote, lock it in. Madam Clerk, if you'll announce the vote, 15 yes, and the resolution passes. We'll finish up on our public hearings and our rezonings, and we will move right on into special recognition and proclamations. Mayor Grandy?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have two proclamations tonight. First one is in recognition of the nearly 1 year anniversary of the Hurricane Helene flood. So Jim Hughes, would you come up and receive this on behalf of the long-term recovery group, please? Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you, Jim.
You can post it anywhere.
Be sure and put this up.
Jim is part of the long team recovery group that's been working with survivors down there on the river for many, many months. And Jim, we appreciate your work. So this proclamation is recognizing and honoring the resilience of Washington County citizens in the reflection of the 1 year anniversary of Hurricane Helene. Whereas on September 27th, 2024, severe storms inflicted substantial flooding in Washington County, Tennessee, causing significant damage to property, infrastructure, endangering the safety and well-being of our citizens, have required energetic efforts at all levels. And whereas as one of the areas in Upper East Tennessee and Western North Carolina affected by the flood waters that caused loss of life, significant property damage, and ongoing hardship, Washington County faced tremendous and overwhelming needs in order to restore this community. And whereas family, neighbors, friends, and complete strangers came together immediately to provide shelter, clothing, and food for so many of the families in need in the most desperate hours after the flood. And whereas groups of volunteers from outside our region arrived ready to work with first responders, local government, local residents, church groups, and civic groups to provide aid. And whereas the commitment to recovery continued through the fall into the winter and was sustained through the spring and summer months. And whereas the personal commitment, faith, hard work, and appreciation of the special qualities of this area holds by all of Washington County citizens impacted by the flood waters deserves this recognition. And whereas reflection on the perseverance of the Washington County, Tennessee community and all of the support from others gives perspective, reveals resilience, and offers insight and hope for the future. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Washington County, Tennessee, that we do hereby recognize all of those citizens impacted by the storm and the collective and individual and group volunteers, responders, organizations, and service providers who brought powerful hope and confidence to aid in rescue, recovery, and rebuilding of Washington County, Tennessee community, and proclaim that September 27th, 2025 shall be a day of reflection and remembrance so that the selflessness, generosity, and kindness may serve as a foundation for hope. Chairman, this to the Commission for approval.
Thank you, Mayor. Do we have a motion to approve the proclamation? Motion by Commissioner Canada, second by Commissioner Johnson. All in favor of the proclamation signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All the opposition opposed like sign. Seeing none, the proclamation passes, Mayor. Thank you.
I know most of you all believe that I service as a city employee or ski patroller or running golf courses or something or the other. But that being said, I would like to thank the commission, Mayor Grandy especially, because I got with Joe just shortly after this, and for somebody from Johnson City, he got me involved very quickly. We have multitudes of people that volunteered to help in this. We've got a great asset within the Burleson construction community that took the lead on the organization. But we were actually the centerpiece. If you wanted to structure a long-term recovery group, Washington County was it. Everybody in North Carolina, everybody in East Tennessee, we were what they were looking to. And I give you all the credit, Joe the credit. And I'd also like for you to look at the bit of advertisement we've got. We do have a thing down at the farm at Jackson Bridge Road this coming Saturday, starting at about 4 o'clock. It's commemoration. This is not a celebration. 4 people lost their lives in the county. A lot of people lost everything, and only to witness it firsthand and see the recovery efforts that will be going on for millennia, it seems like. This is just a piece of little bit of thank you to people and to let people know that we're still caring about them. But please put that on your agenda to come, show up, make these people feel gracious. And again, thank you for your all support and love.
Thank you.
Yeah, we thank you for your leadership through this recovery process and ongoing. So the next is, this next proclamation is really a special proclamation because it involves one of our own, and it is so well deserving, this individual, for so many reasons. But Mike, if you would come up, bring your family, and they need to celebrate this with you. He's really not happy with the sheriff and me right this minute, but Mike is a very selfless person and doesn't necessarily like to be called out in recognition, but this is unique and special, and he is unique and special to us. So, well, this is a proclamation recognizing and honoring Captain Michael Foster for his excellence, teamwork, and leadership in law enforcement. Whereas Captain Michael Foster embodies what it means to be a true dedicated member of law enforcement. And whereas he began his career in public service in 1996 when he joined the Tennessee Army National Guard and has served the citizens of Washington County since 2001. And whereas as a tank crewman, he participated in evaluating tank-free gunnery skills. He proved to be a very intensive teamwork environment, one in which Captain Foster thrives, learning how to maintain and maneuver an M1A1 Abrams battle tank while ensuring accurate execution of orders, commands, and instructions set the foundation for his career in law enforcement. He was awarded 2 Army Achievement Medals, one during annual training in 1997 and the other during annual training in 2000. And whereas Captain Foster joined the Washington County Sheriff's Office in November 2001, starting in the detention center. By 2003, he was the litter control officer working with the Dirty Street Fighters. And in 2004, moved to Community Service and Support Services, was next promoted to sergeant in 2011, and thereafter quickly rose to the rank of lieutenant. In late 2022, he was appointed to be a task force officer for the United States Marshal's Service Office, Smoky Mountain Fugitive Task Force. His ability to work with any group of individuals to achieve a goal makes him a remarkable team member. His extraordinary leadership skills led to his promotion to captain in 2024. And whereas whereas in September 2024, Captain Foster was instrumental in rescuing 8 of his fellow officers who were isolated when floodwaters ravaged the Highway 107 section of Washington County. He volunteered to lead a rescue operation into the floodwaters with an officer from the Johnson City Police Department to bring the stranded deputies home. For that bravery, he was awarded a Washington County Sheriff's Office commendation for distinguished service. And whereas on September 11th, 2025, Captain Foster received the American Legion Sheriff's Deputy of the Year Award and was further acknowledged as an exceptional first responder who exceeded the duty requirements of his position with acts of heroism and selflessness during the time of Hurricane Helene in 2024. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Washington County, Tennessee, that we do hereby recognize Captain Michael Foster for his outstanding leadership, unwavering commitment to teamwork, and exemplary service to the citizens of Washington County. Chairman presents this proclamation to the Commission for consideration.
I could be no prouder to present this one, Mayor. Motion to approve the proclamation. Commissioner Wheeler, all these seconds, we'll add all these seconds here. Second by Commissioner Wexler. All in favor of this approving the proclamation signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Congratulations.
Well, Captain Foster is one that, you never have to worry about Captain Foster. He has it under control. You need an answer, he gets it to you. On that day, we didn't know exactly how we were gonna get those officers, and we figured out a plan to use a big military truck. And he just stepped up and we said, well, we'll have to find somebody. He says, I'll go. And he and Officer Cheryl Dykes with the Johnson City Police Department, they went through water. If I had been able to see it from where we were at, I would have told them not to. And at times that big military truck was even floating, and they went into it anyway and got those guys and came back. No finer employee. Thank you, Captain, what you did. Good job.
I've known most of you folks on this board for many, many years. Those of you all that know me know that I don't like being in the spotlight. I like to do my job and go home at the end of the day to my family. And it was heartbreaking that day to think of officers that couldn't do that. That's why I volunteered along with Cheryl Dykes. He deserves just as much credit as I do. There were more hands in this whole process than just the two of us. There were behind the scenes folks that were giving us directions on where to go, how best to get there, when the bridges collapsed, what turns we needed to take to get those guys back home. And I know without a doubt that every single one of those guys would have done the same thing for me. So thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I was blessed to work with Mike for many years. He has been a great employee for the sheriff's office and continues to do that. And it's great to see somebody do so well. And, it's just, you just celebrate him. Thank you, Mike, for everything you've done for us here. Mayor, I've got to stop you just a minute. So we have forgot something. And if I can have just a little bit of leeway, we have Brenda Whitson here with us this evening. Brenda, come on up here to the podium if you don't mind.
I promise I did not do it right.
Well, now I know this is kind of a little off guard, and I'm sorry, but you know, Brenda was in Kingsport the other day, and she went to the governor's conference on tourism, where she received the Tourism Professional of the Year. Now we got to stop just a minute. Brenda's our executive director of the Convention and Visitors Bureau. And she does so much work and so much good for Washington County, Johnson City, Jonesboro. She just does so much. So when we get just a minute, Mayor, I think we should recognize Brenda and just thank you, Brenda, for all you do for us, and congratulations on that award, Tourism Professional of the Year. That's a big thing. We're gonna ask you to talk now, so you know.
You know, I am blessed that I do get to do what I love. And I've been doing this, as Greg said, you know, for a very long time, since 1998. So you gotta love something if you've been doing it that long. And it is a pleasure to get to work and promote this place that we get to call home, that we're very blessed to live. And so I thank you, Greg, for doing that. That was a total shock. Just like the award was a total shock as well. So, but thank you very much.
I could not let that go. I was so impressed. If you go back and read that article of the numbers, there's a story to be told in the numbers. So you'll have a chance to go back and read that article. It's an amazing, it's a great story.
District spending was up almost 9.5% in 24 over 23. So that's very impressive. I think we had the largest increase of anyone in the region. So hats off to Johnson City and Washington County for that.
Thank you so much, Brenda. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to catch you off guard, but I don't get you down here much. So, you were on my list, and I know you were on the mayor's too. All right. So our next item is the Board of County Commissioners approval of the minutes. We have a motion to approve the minutes of our 25 meeting. Motion by Commissioner Jones to approve. Second by Commissioner Wexler. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? The minutes are received. We have several elections, appointments, and confirmations this evening. Our first one is resolution number 250905, is a resolution appointing members as Washington County representatives to the Bright Ridge Board. There are some recommendations in your packet from the CIA committee. I will say that there was an email that came out earlier this week that I read over that there was some bylaw issues. Is there anything, Ms. Wilkinson, you would like to comment about that before I open the floor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will confirm that you should have in your email from me, and I think it's also in the packet as a memo that was distributed to the CIA committee, that the bylaws do preclude current or former employees of serving on the Bright Ridge Board. So if you look at that memorandum that is within the CIA minutes, you'll see that. So just consider the fact that you may not wish to appoint someone that the entity would not seat onto a board position. This county commission does not have the authority to amend the articles of incorporation of the Johnson City Power Board or Bright Ridge. Thank you.
Thank you. So just want to clear that up before I open up the floor for nominations. We'll open up the floor to appoint members to the Bright Ridge Board. Commissioner Tomita.
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Richard Tucker and General Heights.
Commissioner Tucker. And
Second that.
Commissioner and General Hyatt. All right. Did I have a second on that as well? It's Commissioner Huffine, the second. Any further nominations?
Mr. Chairman, I request it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I didn't see you on there, Commissioner Carter.
In the afternoon. So, when we got our packet, Eugene Ward had been nominated, put down by the CIA committee. Eugene is the retired employee of Bright Ridge. I guess he was nominated and been put on there before the bylaws have been checked. I just wanted to speak on Eugene. If that wasn't part of the bylaws, you couldn't find a better person to have been placed on that board. I understand there's pros and cons to that. Evidently there was a history that I didn't know about, probably maybe before my time, of somebody that didn't really act in the best interest of the county that had been on at that time, Johnson City Power Board of Directors. But I don't know that I would agree with those bylaws. Not that the Bright Ridge will go back and adjust them, but to me, having a past employee that was a lifelong employee that could see things could be beneficial in ways that really no one else could do. So I just wanted to point out that Gene's a man of character, and they would have benefited if that wasn't his fault. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Commissioner Carter, and I know that Mr. Ward is a fine man, and I think there could be other appointments that come up that we should definitely consider him for.
Mr. Chairman, before you vote on the resolution, if I may, and I did not ask this in advance, there may be a Bright Ridge meeting this week, and it may be something to consider as you vote on this resolution, to consider the effective date, that this resolution be effective immediately, and then go forward after it's signed. If that is something that this commission would like to consider, so that if there is a board meeting this week before the resolution is fully executed and distributed, that the appointees have the standing to attend the meeting.
I'll amend my motion.
Yes, absolutely.
Effective immediately.
All right. Commissioner Huffine, are you effective immediately on your second?
Absolutely, there is a meeting, committee start at 3:15 tomorrow, and we do need representation for that.
Thank you.
Sorry, Mr. Doctor.
All right. The floor does still remain open. Is there any further nominations before I close the floor? Seeing none, we have Commissioner Tucker and General Hyatt to be considered. The floor is closed. All in favor of those that nomination signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Congratulations to our very own Commissioner Tucker and General Hyatt.
Can I say a word?
Yes, Commissioner Jones.
I would just like to thank Commissioner Huffine for his time on that board. Serving on that board is a lot of work, and his timing on that board came right after we sort of closed out on our, at least the beginning part of our interactions with Bright Ridge around the Bitcoin mine and some of those challenges early on. And coming in during that was a hard time to be a leader. And I would just say that going forward, this board position is super important. Communities all around our state are dealing with power related questions, and also these supercomputer systems that are super noisy. Some of them are Bitcoin, but some of them are just powering AI, for example. And those are just things that I think all of us need to stay on top of. And I know Mr. Dykes is always willing to talk about those things, and some of us will have lunch with him from time to time, but I think staying on top of those things is really important. Thank you for being willing to serve, Commissioner Tucker.
Yes, absolutely. Commissioner Huffine did go on at a tough time. I know that was the time that I had been appointed also as well to, not to the board, but to kind of work through some challenges. So, I know that was a really tough time for me, and, thank you for your service, Commissioner Huffine. It's definitely, it was good to know that you were at the board meeting, because I know we had some difficult times there. So glad to see those times are behind us.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. I just want to reiterate Commissioner Jones' comment there, the time I served there, know how well recognized it is, but Bright Ridge is one of the foundational components of our community for our growth and development. And it's a very well run organization that I think it is critical that this commission continues to have representation there and help influence and balance that. I'll also say General Hyatt, serving with him for the 3 past years, you could not find a gentleman of higher integrity, this 30-some years plus service to our country, but his knowledge that he has and his leadership qualities is really a huge contributing factor to the success of that board and will be in the future. And thank you again.
Thank you. All right, our next item is the resolution number 250906, is a resolution appointing the judicial commissioners in Washington County General Sessions Court.
Move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Jones to approve. Do we have a second?
Let's keep this party going.
Second by Commissioner Wheeler. We are.
I'm happy to sit back down.
Well, we're moving right along here. The floor is open for nominations as well. Do we have any further nominations?
Call for the question.
Question's been called. Madam Clerk, the question's been called and the meeting, we have cut off the date on the nominations. We have the nominee with them this evening, if you would like to hear from the nominee.
This is Ethan Maxwell Gloverty. I exercised my temporary authority to appoint, we call him Max, about 3 weeks ago. He's been working for 3 weeks. He's working 2 to 3 shifts a week. As a matter of fact, we had one of our commissioners with a family emergency this week. I need to get the midnight to 8 a.m. shift covered at the last moment's notice this week, or this past weekend. First person I called was Max. Max said, "I'll be there, no problem." He's available. He is extremely intelligent. He is a law school graduate, law school in University of Illinois, has an abundance of experience as a law clerk, a judicial extern, and will be a very fine attorney one day. Hands off, Mr. Wheeler. Will be a very fine attorney. And but for now, he's a very fine judicial commissioner. We ask that you approve.
Thank you, Judge. It sounds like we better get him sworn in pretty quick because Commissioner Wheeler is looking at it over there. All right, so that's our nominee. We're gonna go ahead and close the floor if there's no further nominations. Seeing none, all in favor of our nominee, signify by saying aye. All opposed? Congratulations, Max. We appreciate having you, and I know you'll do a great job. Just watch that Commissioner Wheeler. He'll be over, you know. You're gonna watch him. Thank you all. All right, our next item is resolution 250907 is a resolution appointing members to the standing committees of the Washington County Board of County Commissioners for fiscal year 25 through 26. And last time we had voted, we were not changing the committee structure. We were leaving it the same. When we talked about that, I know me and Ms. Wilkinson had a discussion. Are we leaving, when we say leaving it the same, are we leaving it, the committee chairman is the same and just everything the same? Or are we going to come back and do some of that to see?
The thought was we would leave the membership the same and elect officers at the upcoming meeting.
Okay, sounds good to me. All right, so I won't make it difficult for me. So we will leave the membership the same. And do I have a motion to approve the resolution? Motion by Commissioner Edens, seconded by Commissioner Tamita. Question or discussion? Question's been called. Madam Clerk, if you'll switch us to the voting screen, please. Go ahead and cast your vote. Madam Clerk, announce the results at 15 yes. All right. And the resolution passes. The next resolution is resolution 250908. Is a resolution appointing the members to the Ethics Committee. Have a motion made by Commissioner Fitzgerald, seconded by Commissioner Huffine to approve the resolution. Question or discussion? Question's been called. Madam Clerk, if you'll switch to the voting screen, please. Go ahead and cast your vote and lock it in. Madam Clerk, if you announce the vote, 15 yes, and the resolution passes. All right, that will conclude our elections, appointments, and confirmations, and we'll move right on to the county mayor's report. Mayor Grant.
Got a couple of things tonight. First, a reminder that Washington County 101 will begin this Tuesday. The first session is an overview of county government. The next Tuesday will be at the Health Department with the Health Department featured, Election Commission, EMA, and EMS. Followed by the next Tuesday night will be right here in the Justice Center, and will be a program on the entire court system. A number of judges will be speaking. And the final Tuesday night will be the favorite, the all-time favorite, best food, served by public service and sheriff's department and the detention. And the best part, we have the dogs. So that is the next 4 Tuesday nights. And that graduating class will show up here hopefully for the October meeting to receive their awards. Second item, you've already heard from Jim Hughes. He talked about an evening of reflection for Hurricane Helene 1 year anniversary. Saturday is coming Saturday, 9/27, starting at 4 o'clock on the farm at Taylor Bridge. That's 1090 Taylor Bridge Road. If you want reservations, there's a QR code on this, and I'll leave it up there on the table. And finally, bless you. And finally, what the most important news of the day is that today, speed limit in Jonesboro on Burns Creek Road was changed. So, Commissioner Tucker, you have free reign to go above 30 miles an hour coming into town. Thank you very much. Anybody have a question?
Mayor, I just want to say, I want to stop you just a minute. You know, we want to thank you too for, as we reflect back on a year of past Helene, we want to thank you for all the hard work you've done too, because I've seen it and I know what a great job you've done. And I just want to take just a minute. Thank you, because you definitely deserve it.
They say Chick-fil-A.
Thank you, Mayor. We appreciate you. Our county attorney's report, Ms. Wilkinson.
Thank you. If you can hear me without the microphone, I'll just make 2 brief announcements for you. First, it would be just to remind you that we celebrated on September 17th last week the 238th anniversary of the signing of the Constitution of the United States of America. So that's part of the work that we do as lawyers, and that you, of course, swore the oath to uphold that and how important it is to us. And just to share something that I learned just this week, that of all the countries that have had constitutions, France is almost as old as ours. Theirs has been changed, I think, 14 times in the same time period. Haiti is a number of times since 1801. We are an exception to the rule. The United States of America is the only country that has the same constitution that it originally adopted. There have been amendments thereto, but the Constitution stands, and the United States has celebrated Constitution Week since 1955. So I wanted to take this opportunity to bring that to your attention as county officials who have taken that oath. In other news, more to the point is that last month during public comment, there was a gentleman who came to you to make complaint about some property out on Taylor Bridge Road. Specifically, I think it was 212 Taylor Bridge Road. The very next morning, the planning director and I worked through that issue to determine whether or not the tents, RVs, and other permanent-like dwellings out of temporary-like dwellings were in fact in conformance with the zoning resolution or any suspension of the rules related to Hurricane Helene. The property was not in compliance. If you'd like to look at your packet on page 118, you'll see photographs taken by the General Welfare Officer in advance of the Health, Education, and Welfare Committee meeting, and that I incorporated into the quarterly report. The property owner received correspondence from the planning director advising that the property was not in conformance. The property owner came to the county and acknowledged receipt of the letter. There was a September 17th deadline. At the HEW committee meeting, I requested a citation authority in the event that compliance was not in place in advance, at the September 17th deadline. There's been almost no change to the state of the property since the time of the original photographs. And so that matter will proceed to General Sessions Court for enforcement of the zoning resolution. And I just wanted to make you aware, since that was a public comment that was made to you as a commission, I thought it important to report back in the public that it was immediately addressed, both by the internal offices and then through the appropriate committee the following session. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Ms. Wilkinson? Seeing none, we'll move right on into the Department Director of the Health Department, Director McClellan. I don't know, see you here this evening. We'll move right on to our Director of Schools report, Director Boyd.
Good evening. As usual, you have the written report. I do want to point out, I did make an error. Our joint meeting is scheduled for the 29th, but that is Monday, not Tuesday. So, please forgive me on that error. But I do look forward to it. I know the board does. Hopefully, as many of you can attend. It's intended to be a conversation as was requested. You won't have to sit and listen to me. It's a dialogue between the elected officials. I'll be there to support and answer any questions that anyone may have, but it's really between the two bodies. And I look forward to that opportunity. We also, on tonight, we have a request for funding that will help us proceed with the upgrades of our entrances to our K-8s. We've completed the two high schools. They're completed to the point, we have substantial completion. And we look forward to hopefully have an opportunity to move forward with our elementary school upgrades and entrances. But other than that, if anyone has any questions, I certainly would be glad to address those.
6 o'clock Monday.
6 p.m. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The intent is blocked off an hour and a half. It can go as long as you choose, all of you want. It can be as brief as all of you want. But the target was 7:30, an hour and a half. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Next item is our administrative elections. Mr. Vest, are you here this evening? Don't see him there. I know he has I think he included his report in the packet on page 72. And we'll move right on into the CIA report. Commissioner Wexler.
Yes, the CIA committee met on September the 4th. In your packet is a copy of our minutes. And from that, I bring to you Resolution 250909, A resolution approving and authorizing $55,000 funding to support updated marketing plan designed to promote Washington County tourism and amending fiscal year budget. I bring it to you in the form of a motion, and I ask for your approval.
Motion made by Commissioner Wexler.
Oh, yeah, this comes from the hotel motel tax. This is not any new, this doesn't come out of the budget, it the money comes from the hotel motel.
Motion made by Commissioner Wexler to approve, seconded by Commissioner Tamita. Question or discussion?
Call question.
Question's been called. Madam Clerk, switch to the voting screen, please. Go ahead and cast your vote, lock it in. Madam Clerk, if you announce the vote, 15 yes, the resolution passes.
That's all I have.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. Right on around the table, Communications Task Force, Commissioner Huffine.
Yes, you will find, we met, and you'll find the minutes from our September 4th meeting on page 92. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer those. We do have one resolution, resolution 2509-10, resolution defining communication objectives, goals, press release process. And we bring that to you in the form of a motion.
Motion approved by Commissioner Fitzgerald. Second by Commissioner Edens. Question or discussion? Question's been called. Madam Clerk, you'll switch us to the voting screen, please. Go ahead and cast your vote, lock it in. Madam Clerk, announce the vote, 15 yes, the resolution passes. Mr. Huffine, anything else?
That is all. Thank you very much.
All right. On to the County Owned Property Committee, Commissioner Tamita.
The minutes are in your package. There were no actionable items. Just wanted to invite everybody to, we initially thought to try to hold the meeting out there last time, but logistically it was really problematic from a time standpoint. So we're going to have a meeting there tomorrow. It's been noticed. It's a public meeting. Public's welcome to come, just kind of eyeball the progress and get a visual on what they need to be done down the road. 4 o'clock out of Gray. For the far, if you're facing the building to the far right, don't do like me and go to Blackburn Children's and sit down first time. So that's all I got. You got any questions?
All right, seeing no questions, we'll move on to the Employee Compensation and Benefits Committee. We have one resolution there. It's a resolution 250911. It's a resolution approving and authorizing the amended consulting contract terms with One Digital, an insurance broker consultant for Washington County, Tennessee, and amending the FY26 budget. One of the reasons that we came back to discuss this with you just a moment, once we got into looking at the proposal with One Digital and bringing that back to the committee and the mayor as well, one of the things that One Digital found was there was no money to pay an insurance broker. So that did cause for some confusion in the preliminary health contract, because that's where we assumed it would be paid from, the commissions. The only commissions they really received is from a small portion of dental insurance and the like, and it was a very, very small amount. Even if you wanted to go back and re-advertise it and rebid it, nobody would want to do it for free. However,
somebody did.
Yeah, they did, but then there wasn't any available money to pay anyone out of it. However, I will say that I continue to believe that One Digital is doing a good job for us, and very cheap at that. but they can't continue to do it at the rate that they're doing it. But if you did go back and have to have to put a new RFP out, one of the challenges we had was we would be someone needing to do it for free. So we do have to get this corrected and to move forward with it. And we have done, this is what the committee had recommended. It went to budget. Budget had reviewed it as well. Our county attorney has reviewed it. Wendy is here this evening. If you would like to ask her some questions about it. And really, this is just a solution to try to get us to a place that we can move forward.
That's a motion, right?
Would you make that motion? Because I don't really feel like I should make the motion. Motion by Commissioner Wexler, seconded by Commissioner Huffine. All right. Any further questions? Questions been called? Madam Clerk, switch to the voting screen. Go ahead and cast your vote. Lock it in. Madam Clerk, you can announce the vote. 15 yes, and the resolution passes. All right. Our next item is the Health, Education, and Welfare Committee. Commissioner Carter, you don't have as many resolutions as you normally do. I'm telling you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Got two resolutions. Our minutes on page 105. The first resolution dealing with the security upgrades. The school did the upgrades on David Crockett and the high school. Pretty much of that they did in school, where it used to be in a positive direction for security of the school. But this resolution will deal with the K-8 school. So resolution number 25-09-12 is a resolution approving and authorizing certain education capital projects funds expenditures up to $2 million. District 26 for schools, secure entrance upgrades. And this comes to you as a recommendation from the committee. I move for its approval.
Motion approved by Commissioner Carter, seconded by Commissioner Huffine to approve the resolution. Question or discussion? Question being called. Madam Clerk, if you'll switch to the voting screen, please. Go ahead and cast your vote and lock it in. Madam Clerk, if you announce the vote. 15 yes, and the resolution passes. Commissioner Carter?
Thank you. The next resolution, what Mr. Wilson was talking about earlier in the meeting. And again, we just want to tell him thank you because they worked hard on this. And I think it's in a good stage right now. This resolution is number 25-09-13. The resolution approving the adoption of revisions to the Washington County, Johnson City Animal Control Center bylaw. This comes to you as a recommendation from the committee, and I move for its approval.
Motion made to approve the resolution by Commissioner Carter, seconded by Commissioner Wexler. Commissioner Wheeler?
I noticed that the packet, the resolution refers to Exhibit A, but there's no resolution or Exhibit A in the packet. And there wasn't anything I could find in the minutes.
I'm catching up to you there, Mr. Chairman. That would be our office.
It's okay. We had it was in front of us at the meeting. I didn't check here.
Let me look and see if it's in the minutes. Is it in the minutes?
It's a little concerning if we don't have that.
That's our office, commissioners. We did not attach it as an exhibit in the packet. It was provided and voted on. Typically, if something is going to be an exhibit, it's not included in the minutes. So I don't have a copy there to add for you.
Did anybody go over the changes?
Mr. Wilson, you have that in front of you. Our copy of 7 changes of the bylaw.
Bob, would you come up to the podium just a minute? You have a copy of the agreement with you?
It's actually the agenda from the HEW committee.
Well, do you have just the changes to that we could talk about here this evening?
I'll be glad to walk through the changes.
Mr. Chairman, I think I'm gonna ask Blake if he can get them from that agenda. He maybe can share them with your commission if you'd like.
Okay, that'll be fine if we can see them on the screen. That'd be even better, wouldn't it, Commissioner Wheeler?
Yes, sir.
We'll just have that for you in just a moment.
All right, Bob, we ain't gonna make you stand up there the whole time, so you can, they're gonna get them on the screen, so I think that'll work. We don't, I don't know how long that'll take.
Mr. Chairman, would it be appropriate to table this, allow him to do this without so much pressure?
Absolutely. Yeah, we could do that. Do we have motion to table here? Just a minute, motion to table. We have a second on table, second by Commissioner Stout. All right, that item will be tabled, and we'll come back to that here and bring it back to the table here in just a minute. All right, anything else, Commissioner Carter?
No.
All right, any questions for Commissioner Carter? All right, well, we will move right on along into the Public Safety Committee. Commissioner Evans.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You'll see the minutes from our September 4th meeting on page 130. We have 2 resolutions for your consideration tonight. First, we have resolution number 250914. That's resolution amending the fiscal year 26 budget to accept a non-matching grant for the Sheriff's Office. This is the State of Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security Grant, otherwise known as THSO. This comes to you as a recommendation from the committee, and I move for its approval.
Motion made by Commissioner Evans, seconded by Commissioner Wexler to approve the resolution. Question or discussion?
Call for the question.
Question's been called. Madam Clerk, if you'll switch to the voting screen, please. Go ahead and cast your vote, lock it in. Madam Clerk, if you'll announce the vote. 15 yes, and the resolution passes. Commissioner Evans?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our next resolution is resolution number 250915. That is a resolution approving and authorizing EMS funding for expanded fire services at Limestone and Emberville Volunteer Fire Departments and amending the fiscal year 26 budget. This comes to you as a recommendation from the committee, and I move for its approval.
Motion made by Commissioner Evans, seconded by Commissioner Jones to approve the resolution. Question or discussion? Question's been called. Madam Clerk, switch the voting screen, please. Go ahead and cast your vote, lock it in. Madam Clerk, you announced the vote. 15 yes, the resolution passes. Now, I want to thank everybody who worked so very hard on working on this project. And we really do appreciate everyone, especially the committees that's looked at this, and even the Fire Service Committee has been involved, and we really appreciate them, especially our Volunteer Fire Chief Association. They've been a big part of this. We want to thank them for the job they do in our community every day, especially what they've also done to make this work. And without partners like EMS and the fire department and Jonesboro Fire Department and everything, we could not make this work. And I just had to stop a minute to thank everybody who's been involved in part of this process, because it's really important. And because we got to keep our good partners like the town of Jonesboro making things work. And I think it gives everybody some relief. So thank everyone. I know some of our folks is here and that's worked on this project for quite some time. So we appreciate everyone on that. So I'll be quiet now, Commissioner Evans, and I will go back to, well, that was the last, that's all you had on public safety. So thank you for all your hard work. All right, our next item is the Public Works. The Public Works Committee, Commissioner Davenport.
You see our, minutes on September 4th meeting on page 146. We have one resolution coming before you tonight that comes before you in the form of a motion. It's resolution number 250916, resolution adopting the revisions to the Washington County road list to allow closure of a portion of West Oakland Avenue and amend Denny Mill Road.
So motion, Commissioner?
Yes.
Motion by Commissioner Davenport, second by Commissioner Malone to approve the resolution. Question or discussion?
All question.
Question been called. Madam Clerk, if you'll switch to the voting screen, please. Madam Clerk, if you announce the vote. 15 yes, and the resolution passes. All right, Commissioner Davenport, Water Task Force as well, was you as well, huh?
Yes.
You're on a roll on this whole page is what it is.
I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah, yeah.
So you'll find our minutes are September 11th meeting, page 150. I will note, if you look through there, I think the big thing here to pull out is we have completed over 25% of the roads. I think it's 219 miles, we have completed. And if you look at that 25%, we said 20-30 year project. If you look at the time taken out COVID and stuff like that, we're well ahead of that schedule, should be in that schedule. Commissioner Huff, I'm looking to you one time, you asked, when completed. So I think, you know, with that, I really think funding some of these projects are getting more costly just because things are going up, and some of them go up because we need water tanks and stuff like that. But just the timeline, I think we can get there in 10 years for a total of about 15 years. So that's moving pretty quick. Now we'll see about funds because, like I said, there's a reason we're about to run out of the low hanging fruit. But we have more on the road list than we can afford to go Public Works in October, and we'll be in front of the next question.
No, we used to do about, what was it, about 10 miles a year? I mean, sometimes,
Yeah,
I mean, that's where we were before we, yeah. So that just goes to show you the difference, is how far that's come. It's amazing.
Yes. And the folks working with us, and really, everyone seems to be working together. Get this, the municipalities that have water and access and stuff like that, they're really working well together.
All right, Commissioner Davenport, if you'll just take us on to the budget committee report.
So you'll find our minutes or meeting, on page 151. There are several resolutions coming before you tonight. The first is 250917, the resolution amending, fiscal year 26. It's an extension of the county FEMA consultant contract. And that's in the form of a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Davenport to approve the resolution. Second by Commissioner Eden. Question or discussion?
Call for the question.
Question been called. Madam Clerk, if you'll switch to the voting screen. Go ahead and cast your vote. Lock it in. Madam Clerk, if you'll announce the vote. 15 yes, and the resolution passes. Commissioner Davenport.
The next resolution is resolution 250918. Resolution amending fiscal year 26 budget. Zoning office, replacement of a block.
Motion made by Commissioner Davenport, seconded by Commissioner Tucker to approve the resolution. Question or discussion?
Call for question.
Question's been called. Madam Clerk, switches to the voting screen. Go ahead and cast your vote. Lock it in. Madam Clerk, if you announce the vote, 15 yes, and the resolution passes. Commissioner Davenport?
Next resolution is resolution, 250919, a resolution amending fiscal year budget 26. Archives, HVAC.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Davenport, second by Commissioner Stout.
Call for questions.
Question's been called. Madam Clerk, if you'll switch to the voting screen, please. Go ahead and cast your vote. Lock it in. Madam Clerk, if you'll announce the vote, 15 yes, the resolution passes. Commissioner Davenport?
The next resolution is resolution 250920, resolution amending fiscal year 26. Various departments paid up life insurance to qualifying retirees.
Motion?
Yes.
Motion by Commissioner Davenport, second by Commissioner Wexler. Question or discussion?
Call for the question.
Question has been called. Madam Clerk, switch to the voting screen, please. Go ahead and cast your vote. Lock it in. Madam Clerk, if you'll announce the vote, 15 yes, and the resolution passes. Commissioner Davenport?
Resolution is resolution number 250921, resolution approving and authorizing the appropriation of grants to Johnson City Rotary Foundation for the creation of a children's bicycle playground.
Motion to approve. I've had a couple of questions about this one a little bit, about which committee it went through and different things. I wonder sometimes maybe we should suspend the rule on this one a little bit. I don't recall a committee had been through. Do you all recall? I don't think it had been, it went through budget, but
yes.
Did it come back through another committee earlier, Mayor, or?
I don't think so.
How'd that go? Let's go ahead and suspend the rule on this. It just make me, it kind of make me feel better if we did.
Oh, you want a motion to suspend the rule?
Motion to suspend the rule.
I'm happy
Consider
to do
this
that.
one. Motion by Commissioner Jones, second by Commissioner Fine.
I would though, if it's okay, I would, like to hear going forward with this grant, how that gets. Does that go through committee or is that a mayor's office project or how does that go from here?
Well, I guess it would come back, the results would come back to a committee or you, Mayor, or how would that work?
Thank you. I really appreciate the question. As explanation on this. So this is part of this First Frontier Trail, which is a connecting section between the Tweetsie Trail and Johnson City and the trails that have already been developed and are to be developed in Jonesboro. Ultimately connecting Sycamore Shoals, a historic site in Carter County, with Jonesboro, the oldest town in Tennessee, and a lot of that we've already talked about. So as this project began to unfold, there were a number of a committee was created of interested parties, trail people, bike people, Johnson City people, Jonesboro people, Monroe Washington County people, to just sort of build a concept. Maybe 4 years ago, there was a group that was a graduate study group from Clemson who came into the community, spent 4 or 5 days, and had 5 different proposals for trails in Washington County. So that's formed the basis for what this committee looked for. So out of that, I mean, there were no funds for it. And so out of that, a proposal was developed by this little committee, and we took it basically we took it to the governor and asked for funding of this trail section. And, so year one, the governor and the legislature funded, $2.1 million to develop a portion of this trail section in Jonesboro and out to the town limits. We went back last year and asked for the completion of what it was going to take to build it out between Johnson City and Jonesboro. So we asked for $5 million, and we're granted $5 million, and that's what this grant is. Baked into that proposal, which is really question for tonight, was $200,000 to match funds that had been raised by the Rotary Clubs of Johnson City, primarily the Johnson City Dean Club, with support from the other Rotary clubs, I think in Johnson City, the Morning Club and Evening Club. So this amount of money, and this was part of the proposal of the governor, this amount of money will fund this youth training park that will be built at the foot of Tannery Knobs mountain bike trail. So it's all sort of, this was about 10 acres of land in the middle of Johnson City that was donated by Grant Summers for this facility and some parking, and so the city's got a piece of it. That's what's really in the resolution tonight, is this $200,000 to complete the funding to build the youth training park, be a place for families come. And I think we've looked at that before. There are in the packet a handful of pictures and diagrams that sort of show what that'll look like. The balance of the funding, the county is in possession of the money. The money has come from state FNA. It's in our separate account in Washington County. And as survey work takes place, notification to neighbors along the route takes place, the trail process will move forward. It probably will have some right-of-way acquisition and a number of things that are really unknown at this time. So there is this committee that is together, that's looking at how this is going together. Park and Rec in Johnson City is heavily involved. That Johnson City is undertaking the surveying out using their own forces, trying to stretch this money so that we get the trail complete. That's probably more information than we wanted to know, but that's kind of where it is today. What direction you would like to give as to how you'd like to see it come back to you in the future?
Well, I guess my question is this was part of the trail money that we had looked at previously, is that correct? Or have we looked at that yet?
We haven't. Actually, we just have received this
that's
funding. Right. So yeah. we went to Nashville sometime in May, I think, and made this request. The governor put it in a supplemental budget, legislature passed it through, and now the funds are in Washington County.
Yeah. Yes, Commissioner Wexler, I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, so basically, this isn't any new funding coming from the budget. This money is coming from the government.
This money is coming from the state,
right? All
of
it, and we're just taking it out of the big chunk and putting it over here.
Well, so the 200,000 that's in the resolution tonight is coming from that $5 million.
Right. And that was part of the big proposal that was approved.
Correct.
Right. So I guess the big question is we're not taking, it's not new money out of the budget. So this is coming from the government. It's almost kind of like a grant.
It is a grant. It's officially a
I mean,
grant.
it is a grant.
And I would go on to say that, we applied with the town of Jonesboro. You may remember a resolution that sometime in the spring, we partnered with the town of Jonesboro and applied for a TDEC grant, that we were also awarded, which was, I want to say it was $3.1 million. And that helps to build a trailhead, and in the town of Jonesboro, the plan, I think, is put it down around where the football field was between the middle school, the old middle school and the old elementary school. And to give, have a place for people to have, restrooms, park, and access the trail going in either direction. The intent, you may recall, when we looked at that TIF for the project of Burlington, there's another park there. There will be another trailhead where people will be able to park and access that trail. And then, of course, down at where the Queetsy Trail officially starts and goes over to Carter County, there's another place. There's a number of access points along the trail where folks can drive and park and up on the trail.
So back to Commissioner Jones, I guess the question is, were we supposed to have this go through a committee, or what's the normal procedure?
Well, it's abnormal because, I mean, really, it's really not local funding. It's funding that we have been granted state. So it can take whatever shape the commission would like to see it go in the future. The bicycle training park part was part of the presentation and proposal to the governor. So we feel like that's, once you have the money, I guess it wouldn't be required, but it would be disingenuous to, I think, propose one thing and then do something else with the funding. So the folks at Rotary have been kind of holding the park building people in bay. And now that we had the money, it seemed appropriate to try to move that forward so that they could get that project, that part of the project underway.
I think I'll say I think it's a wonderful project. I personally have given money to it. And it's great that the governor thinks so much about it to put money as well.
He has been very generous and thoughtful.
Commissioner Wheeler?
I'm in favor of suspending the rules tonight and moving this forward, but of course, just because it's a grant from the governor doesn't mean we're not responsible for overseeing the spending. So I'd like to see it come through the Q committee in the future. I think that's probably the most appropriate for recreational type expenditure. But I don't have any problem with the suspending the rules and moving it tonight. But we do have responsibility for oversight when we receive a grant.
I wouldn't want to get this hung up after we leave here tonight. Somebody say, well, y'all did suspend the rule, that's kind of caught me before. So we just want to make sure it gets done right. So we do have a motion and second to suspend the rule. Any further questions? Seeing none, all in favor of suspending the rule signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the rule is suspended. We do have a motion to approve by Commissioner Davenport. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Jones. Question?
Call the question.
Question's been called. Madam Clerk, you'll switch to the voting screen, please. Go ahead and cast your vote. Lock it in. We have 14 yes, 1 abstained, and the resolution passes. All right. Commissioner Davenport.
Next resolution, resolution 250811A, resolution authorizing paving services for the Washington County Highway Department for the Washington County Sheriff's Office, Chiefs Range /Training Center, in the beginning of fiscal year.
Motion by Commissioner Davenport to approve the resolution, second by Commissioner Huffine. Question or discussion?
Call for the question.
Question's been called. Madam Clerk, if you'll switch to the voting screen, please. Go ahead and cast your vote. Lock it in. Madam Clerk, if you announce the vote, 15 yes, the resolution passes. Anything else, Commissioner Davenport?
That's all I have.
You had a whole page. All right, that's what I like. So notaries, we do have resolution 250922 is a resolution approving the election of notaries public for appointment or reappointment for Washington County, Tennessee. Motion made by Commissioner Tomita, seconded by Commissioner Wexler. Question's been called. Madam Clerk, if you'll switch to the voting screen, please. Go ahead and cast your vote and lock it in. Madam Clerk, if you announce the vote, 15 yes, and the resolution passes. The next item under new business is consider resolution 250923. It's a resolution ratifying the opioid litigation settlement known as the Secondary Manufacturers National Opioid Settlement, G8. Ms. Wilkinson, is there anything you want to comment on before we take this up? Do we have a motion? Motion by Commissioner Jones, seconded by Commissioner Wexler.
I'll
Ms. Wilkinson?
just point out to you that this is a settlement that is consistent with the other settlements that the county has seen. And it's on the recommendation of plaintiff litigation counsel. So I would recommend its approval as we are following counsel, that this has already been approved in that pending litigation. And this agreement is what will trigger the funding to the county.
All right, thank you. All right, do we have a call for the question, or is there any questions? Questions been called? Madam Clerk, if you'll switch to the voting screen, please. Go ahead and cast your vote, lock it in. Madam Clerk, if you announce the vote, 15 yes, and the resolution passes. We have a joint meeting of the Washington County Commission and the School Board at 6 p.m. That was on the 29th. Is that right, Sherry? So that will be there. I'll be out of town that evening. I hate I'm going to miss it. But
Did you table on the resolution before you leave tonight, or was it?
oh yes, Commissioner Wheeler, our attorney is reminding me of a table we made on the animal control.
Oh, that's right.
So if you'll make a motion to bring that back from the table.
To bring that back to the.
So we have a motion to bring it back to the table, and seconded by Commissioner Huffine to bring it back to the table. All in favor of moving that back to the table, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. All right. So that we'll bring that back to the table under the Q committee report, Commissioner Carter. And we'll go back to our discussion that we were having on that.
Have our visual.
Yeah.
We do have an audio visual. We have.
Well, gonna watch the meeting.
Blake was putting it up for you.
There we go. Now, get out your good set of glasses here. All right, Blake, thank you.
You see that? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I believe in that document, there's a summary on down.
There you go.
Mr. Wilson, if you would like to.
Yes, come on up, Bob. The podium, and if there's anything there you want to have any questions for, want to discuss, there's the additional options that the changes.
Following our meeting, last April, we went to Animal Control Board, went back and considered comment. One of the big issues, I think it was probably the biggest issue, was the second city and county commission appointment. As it was originally presented, was to be a county commissioner. Upon hearing the discussion and input from the county commission, that was amended to be either a county commissioner or a county resident. So it's your call, whichever one you prefer. The term of that position, is 3 years, it's set at up to 2 3-year terms. When we were back with the HEW also, a county attorney brought it to our attention that our notice for an emergency meeting needed to be 48 hours instead of 24. So we changed that. I know it's been a long time since we reviewed this. I'll be happy to go through the other major changes from the original bylaws, if you'd like me to do that. It's really, yeah, you're seeing it right now. One of the members of the board is the Washington County Humane Society. We just changed that if for some reason they didn't want to be on the board, that the board could select another 501c3 organization in Washington County in their place. It's just kind of a I don't think they'll ever give that seat up, but if they ever did, it just gives them an option to pick someone else. 3(4)B, the 2 at-large positions are designated as a licensed veterinarian and as a legal or financial professional. The other 2 are not designated at this time, but they would have to be if the board ever chose to fill those 2. At-large positions will be advertised and appointed by the board instead of the city and county commissions. We talked about this a little bit. The process of going through the city and the county can take a little bit of time to do that. So we thought we would just take that off. And the Animal Control Board, we're asking for your permission for us to do that. That way, the city has 2 appointments, the county has 2 appointments, and the board has 2 appointments. But we will duly advertise those and make the appointments. The at-large positions, the term was increased from 3 to 4 years, and you can serve consecutive terms. Individual board members do not have the authority to act on behalf of the board without the board approval. No director will be held personally liable for any debts of the shelter. The president and vice president titles were changed to chair and vice chair. Set the annual election for the officers at the July meeting of each year. Allows board chair to call emergency meetings with 48 hours notice, which complies with state law. Also allows the board to take action if it's an emergency or time-sensitive issues without meeting. This could be done electronically, but any actions that are approved electronically will be voted on and approved at the next regular meeting. Just designates the executive director as the principal officer and spokesperson of the shelter. And just designates that the authority to hire, discipline, discharge employees rests solely with the executive director. Those were the major changes that were, there was a lot of reorganization that went into the bylaws. But that's kind of it in a nutshell. That these were the most important items. If you would like further input or have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Commissioner Will?
We scroll up to I think there was a section that was expanding the size of the board. So skipped over, but
Well,
those first few check right there. Let's scroll down to the very next one there. And maybe those are on there. So we're not talking about being able to change the size of the board, is that correct?
Well, there's been discussion on this before. The existing bylaws provide a minimum of 5 members up to 9, not to exceed 9. There are potentially could be 4 at-large members. Right now, we have 7 members on the board, and 2 of those are at-large. The other 2 at-large are just sitting there. There's no plans at this time to expand that. That's in the existing bylaws right now. Those positions, in the event the board wanted to expand them, would require, I think it's a 2/3 majority vote. We would have to designate what experience they would have. It could be fundraising experience, it could be marketing, it could be just an at-large citizen. But that designation, as it's currently written, is with the Animal Control Board to designate what requirements we would ask for those individuals. So then, if that occurs, I'm kind of getting confused between the existing and the new bylaws, but under the old bylaws, then that would have to come, it would be designated by the Animal Control Board, but as it's currently written, I mean, the existing bylaws would come back to the city and county commissions for approval. What we're asking for is to let the Animal Control Board make those for the at-large, but only for the at-large positions. We had discussion about the other 2 at-large positions. If this is confusing, I apologize. I'm trying to, it's a lot to absorb here since you didn't have this previously. The HEW committee asked the board to go back and just look at that and make sure you want to keep those 9 members there, or cut it back to 7. The Animal Control Board had a fairly lengthy discussion about that, and we felt that it was in the board's best long-term interest to leave it as it's written. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. We might want to expand the board. We might want to bring in someone that's has a marketing emphasis, someone that has fundraising experience to help strengthen the board. At the current time, right now, we're just trying to get the bylaws amended. But so the board felt comfortable in leaving it at up to 9, not to exceed 9. Right now, it's at 7.
I don't want to cut you off, but we're just kind of seeing a kind of a spiral here, but I'm personally not comfortable with the board having the authority to expand it to where the city and the county is a minority of it, right? You know, everybody, every organization needs skills, right? They don't have to be a board member. You can get a marketing person to help. You can, that's what volunteers are for, but I'm really, really uncomfortable with the potential the funding bodies to be a minority on that board. And I would not support that. And I'm sorry to hit you with that today. But that wasn't really addressed there. I thought we had some sense.
But that was in the original.
Yeah.
That was in the proposal presented back in April. So that has not been changed since then. That question came up in the HEW committee. What we countered that with was that any efforts to expand the board, the city and county representatives would have a vote in that to expand it. So there are 4. There's 2 city and 2 county, and it takes a 2/3 majority to expand the board. So with 7 members, 5 members would have to vote in favor of expanding the board. the board right now only has two appointees of those, as it's proposed in the revised.
But as it sits, it can go.
Well, if they got that, then it would kind of be a moot point because it already would be 9. We know we're not gonna go above 9. But to expand the board, the members would vote on the expansion. They would also vote on who they're gonna be. So there's still a lot of input that the city and county has in that because they get a vote in two, and the first one is to expand the board, which takes 5 of the 7 members to approve it. And then if that passes, they vote on who those new members are gonna be.
So to go from 7 to 9 which is already in the bylaws.
Correct.
Right? But to add 2 more would have to be a supermajority vote on that.
That's correct.
Where does it say?
It says, give me just a minute.
Yeah.
Bear with me, please.
If I may, Mr. Wilson, I think it's paragraph 3.4B. And I apologize that we did not include
No
this in the
problem.
packet.
Thank you. Yes, 3.4B. Designates 2 of the at-large members as this designates one of the existing members to be a licensed veterinarian and the second as a legal or professional experience. The other 2 at-large members have not been designated at this time. That would come about if there was ever a desire to expand the board. Under the current bylaws, to expand the board has to be initiated by the Animal Control Board. And they will designate, as it's currently written, any particular experience those individuals.
Past 9 or?
No, to 9.
2 9.
Yeah, we have no desire to go
with that. Allison, I'm gonna
I'm right.
defer to you. Where to go?
Sorry.
That,
If you scroll down one more,
that
please,
is
it's
what
showing
that
you the
says,
verbiage.
right?
I think this is what he's talking about.
Okay, and that's in practice, that's what would happen, right? It would have to be
That's what it states,
Okay.
is that it would, a 2/3 majority of the
to
board.
expand it from where it is now. See, because the bylaws allow 9 members now,
No,
right?
correct.
So I'm thinking, I'm having trouble getting, if we add 2 seats, we're not expanding it by the.
No, we're not going beyond 9. We're just going
Right.
up to 9.
Up to 9, but that would require 2/3 majority vote.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
Commissioner Huffine?
So, but if I understand this and please provide this is my concern initially. The big change here is now the animal control, with revisions, the animal control board actually has the ability to nominate and appoint 4 members that prior to the changes that would have to go in front of the city and the county. So the city and the county is giving up the ability to appoint 4 members.
That is correct.
To your point. And that was my concern as our responsibility financially to support this, and then we're giving up control, but we're still getting money. That seems a little counter there to me.
I'm just very uncomfortable with the city and the county potentially
Not having.
being a minority.
Okay.
Not even split, a minority.
Well, there's one, the.
What has Johnson City approved?
They approved it initially.
They approved the last one?
They approved, yes, they did.
All right, that's on them. All right.
But they haven't approved this one.
Commissioner Malone, I'm sorry I missed you that last time. You go ahead.
No worries. Thanks, Mr. Wilson. 2 questions. I'll ask them both. One of them maybe is for you, and one of them is more so for our county attorney and and perhaps the committee. Oftentimes when I'm reviewing bylaws, and it's not a fun task, but it's often great with like a red line version that shows you, here's what it says now, here's what we're proposing to change, sort of a red line version. I'm just curious if we had that. And then my second question may be addressed in 3.5D, but one of my concerns is my understanding and impression is that at the moment, board members from whatever source they come from, city, county, I know any that are elected representatives, such as the county commissioner, their term essentially runs with their term in office. But it sounds like, you might scroll up a little bit for me, but it sounds like other board members can serve what will now be up to 4-year terms and then can serve an unlimited number of terms out into the future. Is that correct?
As of yes. If they're approved by the board.
Yeah.
If you get a good, I mean, to serve 6-8 years on a board, all you are in, elected officials, that's a long time. So to get someone that's willing to even serve you, but it would require the approval of the board to do that.
It's one of those items that maybe comes with both strengths and weaknesses. I can imagine some scenarios where, committed board member and they're working hard or I can imagine the opposite. So I just think there would be some benefit to limiting terms to, especially now that they're going from 3 years to 4 years, to limit to 2 or maybe even a maximum of 3, which would be 12, rather than it being an unlimited, indefinite, they could serve a lifetime theoretically. So back to my first question, did we get a red line version of the Bible?
No, you did not, sir.
The summary is helpful, thank you, but
the reason if I may expand, the bylaws will change so much that to get a red line version, we thought about that, and it's a very fair question. We thought it would be more confusing to do that. That's why we tried to give. There was so much of what's in the existing in the prior bylaws that we kept. There's been a lot of reorganization, wordsmithing with a lot of it. The items that were on here are the items that were addressed that were really the meat and potatoes of what the changes were.
Commissioner Wheeler?
I'm concerned, I don't think the 2/3 vote to expand the committee adequately protects the city and county's interests. Because there could be a lot of reasons it might be a good idea to expand the size of the board. But then once that's done, that's when we lose the majority. And so I absolutely think you've got a very good point. And I think that it really comes into play if they do expand. And I think to guard that I would suggest that we agree to give up the appointment process. It does take some time. It may be frustrating when there are a couple of committee meetings. When the applications are done and the committee makes a recommendation of how many seats there are, it usually goes pretty smoothly. It is a couple of meetings that somebody's got to have to do.
Yeah, it seemingly with many in the past and present, I mean, they're presented to us as emergencies, right? We need to do this next month. We've got to get that process down to where we are noticed. And we've got these seats coming up and it's not next month, it's next quarter. And that gives us time to do that. I'm just really uncomfortable with that. I'm sorry to hit you with all that tonight, right? But I can't support that with those provisions. And I'm going to talk to the city too and see where they. But I'm just one. So carry on.
Do we have a motion and a second on this one?
Yeah, we did.
We call a question. I like to call it.
Is there any further questions?
Yeah. Who did make?
Motion by Carter, second.
Oh, I'm missing a machine.
We have a motion by Carter, seconded by Wexler.
It was so long.
It was so long, I thought it meant.
Well, it's about 45 minutes ago. Once we table, Commissioner Evans,
Commissioner Fitzgerald was having technical. Oh.
the batteries may be getting low, ain't they, Commissioner Huffine?
This may need to be a roll call vote.
Oh, I can do that. Some days that's easier.
Tucker,
No.
Johnson,
Yes.
Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Edens,
No.
Davenport,
Yes.
Matherly,
No.
England,
No.
Malone.
No.
Stout,
No.
Tamita,
No.
Jones,
Yes.
Wexler,
Yep.
Huffine,
No.
Wheeler,
No.
Carter.
Yes.
Six yes, 9 no.
And that motion fails for the day.
Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you so much, Bob.
Motion to adjourn.
The only thing I can say is thank you, Sherry and Tiffany, for all your work this week. And we have a motion to adjourn, and is there a second? Mr. Jones to adjourn. All right, all in favor of adjourning, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? We're adjourned.
Thought we were done.